Hello, daughters of the King. Um, it's good to be here with you, at least virtually, and I'm so glad to know that you are able to meet this morning. I'm sorry that I'm not able to be with you. I've got two excuses going on today that I hope you will accept. One is the diocese is having a pre-convention convention meeting in the parking lot of the diocese today. They will be voting to allow a virtual meeting, kind of like what you're having here today, for our diocesan convention, which will happen in October, which is not permitted by our current bylaws, so we have to change those so that we can meet in October. Also, and maybe bigger for myself, is that me and my family are moving not far, so don't worry, just down the road, but we're going to be, instead of 2 miles that way from the church, we're going to be 2 miles that way from the church. And we'll be in a place that will give my family more space and a much bigger yard, which we're very excited about, especially during this season of pandemic when we're spending so much time at our home. I'm sure you can all understand that. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'm glad that you're continuing to do this and gathering together, at least virtually, which is one of the best ways we can do that at this time and still be safe. But I also want to acknowledge how difficult this time is. We all miss just casually being able to get together with our friends, being able to gather as a church, being able to sing and pray together. And I want you to know that I miss you all and that I'm longing for those days to return. But in the meantime, let's make use of these electronic ways that we can to stay connected, because we are called not just to be friends, but as members of the parish of St. Chad's to be each other's support, especially during times when people are struggling with loneliness and having our whole lives kind of jostled around and rearranged. A couple announcements, and then I want to tell you about an opportunity coming up that I think may be of particular interest to you all, the daughters of the King. So just to kind of recap some of the things that you probably have already heard in other places, the email or the Sunday videos. October 4th, we're going to have our next DriveThru Eucharist service. We invite you all to come and receive communion with us. The service starts at 10 and the drive-through time is from 11 to noon. And because that happens on the feast day of St. Francis, we're going to be combining that with our usual annual pet blessing. So if you have a pet that you'd like to bring with you on that day, I would love to meet that pet and to offer a blessing as you're coming through the line. Also, some good news. We have been working to put together a new church directory. We had a number of people join late last year and early this year before the whole pandemic thing began. And so we've got a lot of new names in there and obviously some updated information as well. So we will be handing those out when you come through the line on October 4th. So make sure to remember that day. Also, some of you may have been participants in the Bible study that was going on Tuesdays, led by Carol and Paul Bricard. After, I think, 30 plus years of leading that, Carol finally decided that she wanted to hand that over to someone else. And I know that that was a strong group that is very committed to each other, and they want to continue meeting. And so one of the members of that group, a man named Billy Bowers, is stepping up to essentially offer to help lead that group into the future and make some plans about how they want that to look. So he's going to be holding a first Zoom meeting on Tuesday, the 29th of September at 10 a.m. This is open, obviously, to anyone who's been a part of that group, but if you are looking for new ways to get plugged in, and this sounds of interest to you, they're going to be doing a study of the book of Isaiah. They usually talk about how things are going in their life, and they also pray together, and I expect that to be a part of this new meeting group as well. So watch for a link in the weekly emails about that and mark your calendars. Also, if you are a little bit more of an early riser, or if you prefer the Lectio Divina style, I'm leading a Bible study on Tuesdays at 8:30 in the morning via Zoom, and the link is in the weekly email as well. One other opportunity, since this is our major way of being able to get together, aside from Sundays at 10, we have our Thursday noonday prayer, which is spearheaded by John Turney. But each week they pick a saint from the calendar and usually show some artwork and tell about that saint's life. And it's also just a chance to catch up and pray together. So if you haven't already joined one of those, don't be shy. Feel free to use the link in the weekly email and check that out as well. Now, on to the item that I think will be of interest to you. There is a new group that we're going to be starting. It'll be a book group on a book called The Sermon on the Mount, A Beginner's Guide to the Kingdom of Heaven. Now you might be thinking, well, we've done some books on the Sermon on the Mount before, maybe a handful actually. Why should I be interested in this one? Well, this one is written by an author named Amy Jill Levin, and if that last name isn't a tip-off, she is an anomaly in the academic world. She is a Jewish New Testament scholar. She teaches at Vanderbilt, and let's see, in her own kind of self-description, she calls herself a Yankee Jewish feminist who teaches in a predominantly Protestant divinity school in the buckle of the Bible Belt. And, you know, she's known for injecting lots of humor into her material. Who is going to present this wonderful new book group? None other than the Reverend Leslie St. Louis. And that name might sound familiar because you probably know her mother, Lydia St. Louis. Well, Leslie is an Episcopal priest. She recently moved back to the Albuquerque area after, many different stations around the U.S., first off to seminary and then a couple different parishes. And now she's back here in town. She has a doctorate of ministry and preaching, and she would like to be involved with St. Chad's, and she's offering to help out, which is something that I'm very excited about because I can use the help. So she's going to be kind of an extra assisting priest presence around here for the next several months. And so this will be a chance for you to get to know her better and to be a part of what is sure to be a good group. That book group should start the week of September 27th. We haven't actually picked a time yet. So if there's a particular day or time of the week, I would encourage you to send me or the office an email and let me know, because we're putting that part together. I've already ordered the books. We're going to ask $12 to cover the church's costs. So if you'd like to be a part of that, all you have to do is send $12 to me, and we will coordinate about how to get your copy of the, you can probably just swing by the office and grab one whenever it's convenient for you during the hours that we're open. But that will begin September 27th or the week thereabouts and go for several weeks following. I commend that to you. I hope you have a wonderful meeting today. Your work of prayer is so important in this moment. So many people are having such a rough time, whether it's struggling with virtual school learning and children, or being alone, or the loss of income. There's almost nothing better we can do with our time than lift these cares and concerns up to God. And so I thank you for your faithfulness. I ask for your prayers, and I give thanks for your calling and your place of spiritual leadership in this community. Blessings to you all. Take care.